Yo, what up people? Welcome back to the Nerd Crate. A little bit of a new small video for you guys under my little Tim Tinkers moniker. Thought about doing a little something else and I'm gonna record that again, and so I did, and so here I am. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna give good old Stray here, we're gonna give him some insignia placements so that his shoulders stop looking like this and instead turn to this. How we do it? Top down. So as you think, what kind of a hell of a mess is this? This is after I did the first piece. What piece? This piece. This is going to become a little bit of a shoulder adapter for, and I'm going to show this afterwards, these pegs here. I saw IDW drift in a few pictures on Google, like this one here. And we saw that no insignias here on this chest. Instead, they are here. And I wanted to do that. So there is some color up here on those pylons. But honestly, you can always repaint it or something. And when he's in car mode or something, you don't see it. And once this is on there, it will look like this. There is no problem. And I think this looks way better. At least I do so. So I just prepared a little something. We're gonna do this real quick, real fun series, but real fun. And I'm gonna do also a little bit of a time lapse, so you see it quick. We don't do it as hard and as long as before. But a few things I prepared are, of course, color. We need a little bit of black. This is empty. This can actually go to the side. Some blue and some black, because the parts on his legs and also these parts are actually a very, very dark shade of blue. So we got that, we got our scalpel, we got our pincers, because we need to put these on, and due to the surface the colors are doing, it becomes a little bit hard to have these dry rubs stick on them. It's not impossible, it's just a slight bit harder. Some super glue, of course, to have the little bit of a frame, which you see here. This is actually a little bit deeper, the frame on the foam here. And also some, where is it? Some white color in case something is bleeding and you need to paint it over. So I also got my little Dremel ready. You see this here for the little roundings on the inside, the radius, and we're gonna cut a little bit of chamfer and something like that. And then we mix also some color. You see that here, that's the leftover. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna do this nice and easy. So I'm gonna put the water on the side here. And what we're starting with, of course, is we take drift, or since he's not currently having a sticker, we take stray, and we're measuring the part, because I just toned it so weird. This comes to, although that's bullshit. This, I want to cover the white frame here also. So this comes down to 11 point, with nonius, okay, 11.3, 11.13, that's less than I thought. Wasn't it around 1.3? Anyway, somewhere between 1.1 and 1.2 millimeters. That's what we're gonna do. That's the first. And the second measurement is 1.35. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. What I use for the main part of this guy, what we're gonna do is, and what I did on the last time was, did I take this one? Yeah, I took this one. I took it from the corner here. And I cut this one out already. And this had the exact measurements I needed. And we're gonna copy that. Yep. pretty much. So we don't need a pencil. This is some kind of foam material. I don't know actually what it is. It's roughly, I believe, 1/10 of an inch thick. Should roughly come close. And I just took the measurement here. And then also, since this already has the width, we only need the length. So for just cutting and having the plate, this works perfectly. That is what I meant to say. So we take Stray and we check what's the size. The size is almost perfect. I say almost because it looks a little bit over on one side, which is not too bad. Let me just check something real quick. Not quite. Something like this. That looks pretty nice already. And if you're not happy with some of the angles or such, you just grind it down a bit. Pretty much like you see fit. It's your build. You can do whatever the hell you like with it. So here we got it. We take the cut onto the back and we see the size is pretty much spot on. I like that. I would say we keep it at that. And also what we want to do, at first, on the first one here, I thought that maybe we take a bit of a mine on the pencil of mine, as you know, because it really colors off pretty quick. So we take this as kind of a stencil on the back here, like rubbing the pen off a little bit on here, and have this as kind of some kind of a stencil. That didn't work on this though here, but what did work though was that I just pushed it on like this, and I held it there, like the exact position where I wanted it, and then I just pressed it down really hard and used the actual pack as a stencil. That's excellent. That works friggin' perfect. So we now already got a stencil, and it's the exact position where I want it to be. So that's pretty much all it's coming down to. One of the things that's also important, of course, is the chamfers. So we got the stencil now. We're gonna cut this soon, but at first I want to show you some more. Since we got some chamfers here, you know, like the crooked edges here, we're gonna do the same thing. I overdid it a little bit on these here. I get that, it's also not perfect, but for what it's supposed to be, I'm actually pretty pleased. So we're gonna take this here again, and we overdo it a little bit because we want to have it kind of similar, you know. So you take roughly 45 degrees and you just put the scalpel down. So we got this now, and that actually looks, I believe, yep, that's pretty similar. Looks good, I think. I think that looks good. Seems to me that it was done again. So you grind this guy down some more. Make sure you round the edges a little bit. Also take the side with the grinding paper. It's pretty important. If you're wondering, here we got that piece. And I think this will actually be even better than the first one. So what do we need a cradle for? A cradle we need for a little bit of a frame or border. You see, I glued that on top of here. So we're taking that piece and we're laying it down, cutting around it. After we cut around it, we take the Dremel and we drill the inner out so we can connect the bore holes with the scalpel and then have the actual frame. Some filing and some little bit more cutting, and then we cut it on top of this guy. But before we do that, that's what I'm just thinking about. We're painting the upper side, because this is pretty much done. We're painting the upper side in that darker blue. So I took myself the liberty to take some steel plate and already painted on it. And we're gonna do the same thing with this one right here. So I took a good drop of that blue, not more. Make sure you always clean that thread on the little pad, otherwise it dries shut from the color. So we take this, and then we take the black. That's spot on what I see here. That's spot on already. Good call. Did it the first time around. Came through nicely. So, like I said, we're just gonna paint this guy here real quick. The surface of this, you see, is a little bit rough. I take an almost wet brush, and I go over there and I take some of the color off and just make it a little cleaner on the surface, a little more flat, you know. Of course it will dry up, but see, this way the surface becomes a little bit more smooth. Then you let it dry or cure, and then you continue. Oh, let's say almost done again, right? Let's just take a tiny bit more, like on the corner here. That's not enough. When the frame goes on here, it needs to be covered thoroughly. Otherwise, some stuff will poke through and we don't want that. So just some more waiting, and then we can come down to the frame. So while we finish that off, we grind it on the outside a little bit. I bled a little bit over the edges. Thing is, I had to do this again. The other had bad dimensions, so I had to do the adapter again and the color and everything. But that's not too bad. That's what editing programs is for, and a little thing called humility. Not to be mistaken with humidity. So yeah, we're gonna continue with the frame. There we go, nice and simple, and the size is on point. We'll now go ahead and do a little bit of a frame we do 4 bore holes to have the inside actually cut out. And that was the rest of the material that we actually used. There we got the little frame. It's a little rough still, but we're gonna cut around on that and it will go on our little piece here just nicely in the end, forming that little shape. Little grinding around it, making those chamfers nice and similar. And now we're going to cut some more on the inside and then we're good to go. That part I can't actually show you because in this stance I can't work as precise as if I would lay back. So we're going to cut to the next part. I'd say that looks way better, right? So we're just going to take a little bit filing paper, roll it up a little bit, put it on the inside here of the little roundings. Also those wannabe straight parts can be straightened out some more with that. Just grind it as you see fit and do it until you are satisfied with the outcome. So it's hard to get this one really perfect. You will always see certain corners here that are not perfect. Just do it the best you can and also that you can kind of call it a compromise to be okay with, right? So when you put this on here, it looks even better. And you do that with our trusted super glue. And don't mind that little cut here. We're gonna put that together with some super glue too, and then we're just gonna grind over it. And then we're almost done. Trick 17, when you glue a little bit over, as long as it's fluid, just suck it up with a paper towel. And afterwards you paint over it some more. Shouldn't be that big of a problem. There we go. On there it is. And we're just gonna grind it down some more to actually have somewhat the shape and the size. Shape. What is a shape? Can you say me please in the comments what is a shape? I don't know. To have the shape and size of the actual plate. It was just some finer stuff to do, but otherwise I think I'm pretty satisfied. Like I said, you can always grind some more, like this corner here is a little sharp. So you take a little filing block and you just put some more on there. Also, like I said, don't worry about the cuts. You see those little drips there? That's actually some super glue. We're gonna take our fingers, fair and square, and we're gonna rub the super glue in there and kind of plastic weld it. Those cracks, let it dry real quick. Then we take the filing block, go over there, and we're done. And then this is good. Final step, which is now actually the hardest, is to apply the dry rub decals to this surface due to the color. But it's possible. We just need to be very careful. So you cut the decal out that you want, and then you make sure you take some pliers to apply it as correct as possible. Correct it pretty much as you go. I think the overall position is rather good. Emphasis on rather. I know it's not sticking as well as it should, so I'm not putting that too much pressure on. You just take one corner and you pull it off very carefully. If one corner comes off, that's not too bad. We apply the rest via finger or back of a brush also works. And there we go. That's it. So we put this on there. And Drift has its two shoulder insignias. I think I'm very satisfied. I think the other one came even better out than the first one, but both are pretty similar. And from afar, I think those look great. So there we go, guys. I think that turned out quite great, right? When you look at the comparison pictures. I'm happy. It's not perfect, you know, but that's a scratch build. That's a custom. So you do what you can. You do it to the best of your capabilities. And essentially you hope for the best. No, you just do it the best that you can. So I enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, please give me a like, please subscribe, I would appreciate it. And all the rest. I will see you on Sunday, little hangout, and afterwards on a new review. So yeah, just short. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Bye bye.